This afternoon we got gathered right in front of the Chateau Parma to explain about the PS wines. PS wines are the result of the collaboration between famous Shishel company here in Bordeaux and Pirotte company. Both families originally come from Germany, and this is one of the greatest collaboration made in Bordeaux. So, Mr. Charles Shishel, I have a couple of questions for you. The first question is, could you possibly explain about your famous family, the history of your famous family?
Well, certainly. We go back, the history of my family started in Germany. It goes as far back as the late 17th century.
17th century.
In Mainz, always based in Mainz. We became better known and more active in wine really since 1883. And it was in those days that we set up a buying office for the German headquarters in Bordeaux. So the headquarters were in Germany, and we set up a buying office in Bordeaux in 1883. In those days we were only buying and selling other people's wines. We were not involved in making wine at that time ourselves. As time went on, we became more and more specialised in Bordeaux wine, because when we set it up originally in 1883, we were buying wines from all over France. We were buying wines from Burgundy, we were buying wines from the Rhone, we were buying wines from the Loire, we were buying champagne and so on. As we developed, we became more and more specialised. And it wasn't until 1938 when my grandfather and a couple of his friends felt that the future of a company like ours in Bordeaux was to own the source.
I see.
Yet in those days, the prosperity of Bordeaux came from the négociant company, the trading companies, not the chateaux. The chateaux were losing money hand over fist. It was very, very difficult. They were just farmers in those days. And he bought the chateau at auction, meaning that the previous owner, who went bust, no one was interested in it. So he it was under the hammer in Paris at an auction, and he bid for it. And he got it. And the only reason why he decided to buy it with a couple of his friends at the time is because he wasn't quite sure how much money it was going to cost him, how much it was going to cost to run, whether it was ever possibly going to make money. So a man with a certain amount of foresight, but prudent nevertheless. But still then, the company in Bordeaux was not run by any member of the family. The first member of the family to move to Bordeaux on a permanent basis was my father in 1961.
Vintage.
Great vintage, and this is when he bought our other chateau, Chateau d'Angludet. My father moved here and lived here, and this is where my brothers and I and my sister were born and brought up. The company has developed enormously since those days. Today we own 2 more vineyards, one other one in Bordeaux and one in the south of France in the Corbière region. That's it. We employ in total over 120 people between the négociant company, and the various other companies we have, including Chateau Palmer, including Chateau d'Angludet, including all the. We employ about 120 people, Voilà, and that's in a nutshell. That is what Maison Sichel is all about these days. We trade in all of the Grand Cru Classé of Bordeaux, and that represents about 50% of our turnover. And the rest we trade with a middle level. But one particular aspect of Maison Sichel is our contract winemaking facility, and this is where PS is made from.